Hello, welcome. Let's talk about psychology. I'm here today to talk about gift giving, and I'm excited. The holiday season is coming up, at least for me. I don't actually know when you're watching this, but for me, the holiday season is coming up. And so gift giving seemed like a cool, appropriate topic. I guess that's really what it comes down to. So let's talk about it. Giving people gifts, giving someone else a present, really is a pretty challenging task. And I feel like, this is maybe anecdotal, but I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to always give people stellar gifts, like gifts that they're going to absolutely love and adore. We sort of have an expectation that we're always going to give these great gifts. And we kind of take it hard when we miss the mark, when our gift is not as well received as we were expecting it to be and hoping that it would be. And that's very sweet. It's very sweet that we want to give people gifts that they absolutely love. I think that's, a wonderful thing. But I do think we could cut ourselves a little bit of slack when the gift might not meet expectations exactly, because giving someone a gift, predicting what someone else would want to own, that's a hard task. It just really is a pretty challenging task. And it's hard because it involves perspective taking. And perspective taking really can be pretty difficult. We're human. Perspective taking can be hard. So gift giving involves perspective taking. But when we're giving people gifts, there are a couple specific places where there's kind of a disconnect. There really is kind of a disconnect in perspective, depending on whether we are giving someone a gift or receiving gifts. So where do these disconnects occur? The first place that there's a bit of a disconnect is sort of like what our goal is for the gift, and also what aspect of the situation we focus on. I'll elaborate. When we give someone a gift, we tend to focus more on the moment that the gift is going to be opened. We don't think as much about what it will be like to own that gift long term. We tend to think more about the moment that the gift is going to be open and what the recipient is going to think and feel when they open the gift. And to that end, we like to give, this is what we like to see. When we give someone a gift, we like to see a big emotional response when they are opening that gift. We like to give people gifts that are going to be surprising and touching and oftentimes a little bit sentimental, something that's unexpected and sweet. And so the person who opens it, they're going to go, oh. That's a lot of the time what we are going for when we give someone a gift. And to that end, a lot of the time what we like to give people are things that are very personalized, very specific and unique to that one person, and unexpected. And so a lot of the time, I don't know, this is absolutely my approach to gift giving is we'll find something that's so specific to the individual. I'm well, I know that you like The Sopranos and wind chimes. You'll never guess what I found. It's a gift that's only for you. It's just so specific. Because the person will open it and it's touching and it's totally unexpected, and it's that's often what we are going for. Those are the types of gifts that we like to give people. Very personalized, very touching gifts. And that's a lovely motivation. That's a lovely motivation for gifts. I have no problem with that. We want to delight and surprise people. Great. The problem is, and it's not even really a problem, it's just a bit of a snag. It's a bit of a snag because when we receive gifts, we tend to focus more on the long term. We tend to focus a little bit more on like how useful this gift is going to be for us, how we are going to use it. And so when we receive gifts, we tend to prefer, and it's a slight preference, it's just a slight preference, but there is a slight preference to receive gifts that are like more useful in like our day-to-day life. So when we ask people what they want for gifts, a lot of the time things that people request are things like a new set of sheets, a crock pot. A crock pot would be really handy. A set of headphones, a new belt. Oftentimes the things that we request are like really useful in our day-to-day lives. Sort of more practical. Which is also understandable. I think that's understandable. If I'm going to get something, it'd be nice if it's useful. But we don't like to give people those kinds of gifts. We don't like to give people crock pots or a new belt because that's not like touching. That's not unexpected. They're practical. They're practical gifts. So there's a bit of a disconnect there, a bit of a disconnect in our perspective. And I want to say about this before I move on. The effect sizes here are small. So it is not the case that people dislike personalized, unique, individual gifts. No, we like those very, very much. We just have a slight preference. It's just a slight preference for gifts that are a little bit more useful in the day-to-day. Also, there are surely individual differences here. And I can almost guarantee that there are quite a few people who I would not purchase them a crock pot or a new belt for a gift. It won't go over well. So, these are it's a general preference, and it's a slight preference. But there it is. Okay, so that's sort of one area there's a disconnect. Another place there's a bit of a disconnect revolves around the requested gift. A gift that someone specifically asked for versus a surprise, something that the giver just chooses for them. They do not know that it's coming. When we are giving people gifts, we tend to undervalue the requested gift. We tend to sort of see requested versus surprise. We tend to see those things as pretty equal, and we sort of think like, oh, something that they asked for versus something that I choose, it doesn't really matter. Like, oh, a crock pot versus the Sopranos wind chimes, they'll be equally appreciated. The truth is, there's a slight preference for the requested gift. If people have requested a gift, that usually that is what they would prefer to receive. Again, just a slight preference, but that it does tend to be the preference. So that's another place where there's just a bit of a disconnect, and like whether we're giving or receiving, we kind of come in from different perspectives. I did learn a tip though. If you are somebody who really likes a requested gift, no surprises. Pass on any surprises. If you request just one single thing, like request only one gift, more likely to get it. You're more likely to get something that you requested when you only request one thing instead of like a list of 4 or 5 things you'd be okay with. So that's a tip. If you want something you requested, try it. Just ask for one single thing. More likely to get it. I can't make any promises. It's just a tip. So that's pretty much all that I got. That's pretty much everything that I learned about giving people gifts. I'm sure there are other factors that contribute. I'm sure there are many other factors that contribute to like gift appreciation. But I don't know. I found this very helpful. I do think gift giving is very hard. It's a very challenging task. And I will take all of the assistance that I can get. So I can see where I might be able to work on some things. So I'm going to try to think a little bit more long-term, focus a little bit more on like the usefulness of a gift, and also try to not undervalue the requested gift. That's what I'm going to do. We'll see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. I do have one question. I have one question. Does wrapping paper matter? Does gift wrap matter? I think we need it to hide the gifts. So, like, I understand the need for wrapping paper, but beyond that, like, I don't know how to word this. How sharp the corners are on a gift wrap job, does that matter? If it's in a bag versus the paper, does that matter? Does that influence anything? I honestly have no idea. But that was a question that I have. Does gift wrap matter? And the answer is I don't know. If you know, please share. And if you have any other, insight onto gift giving, any tips, or any questions about anything, and really any questions about anything, if you have any questions in psychology, please don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to leave them. I'd love to know the things that you are interested in. So please let me know. Let me know what those are. Share those thoughts and questions. Otherwise, thank you for sticking with it to the end, and I hope to see you soon. I don't know what I'm doing next video. I'm working on it. I'll come up with something, but I hope to see you there. I hope to see you there in the next video, which should be out in a week. That's my plan. Otherwise, thank you for sticking with it to the end, and I hope to see you soon.